So the goal of scientists that are exhibiting at the, or presenting at the State of the Estuary Conference would be to have the results of their work, or the ideas that they're presenting, be influence a larger body than just sort of a group of scientists. I mean, I think that there's a general desire by scientists to be able to have their message sort of reach a larger audience, and that's a difficult question to try and or a difficult issue to try and address, because on the one hand you have very technical information that by and large the general public is not that excited about or doesn't have the patience to read through. But then on the other hand you have that certain pieces of that could be really influential or very important for certain folks. So there have been a few presentations this morning in particular that were focused on, on ways in which you can engage the general public. And so there was one guy who presented a back to the street, essentially, and it was a really ingenious, essentially, way of putting out some funds for a series of video contests for 14 to 24-year-olds on ways that they might send a message. And they were short videos of maybe 20 to 30 seconds, and most of them were around recycling and not littering and being good stewards of the environment. And that was really smart. Like, it's a way of sort of getting people to think about, well, what would be the message I would send, and what would be the imagery that I would use to describe that. And I think what he's identifying there is that really there needs to be an emotional piece to this for it to resonate with the general public. I think for me to present, hey, here's a bunch of models, it's math, that's very one-dimensional and sort of boring. But on the flip side, to sort of say, okay, well, here's the way being good stewards can lead to better livelihoods for fishermen, or a better experience for people who are going to try and fish for salmon, with kids in the water. I mean, those are things I think that people would tend to resonate with, or understand that experience, And so overall, I would say that I think there's a general push to try and have some of the research that's occurring be presented in a way that's much more applicable or much more available to the general public. But there's some messaging, if you will, that needs to occur between the technical details and the message that kind of comes across as to why this is important to the general public, and that's very difficult to do.